Hello everybody, this is GamerGar. Welcome to a lovely new video of Carl Island. The full version of Carl Island has been released, so it only makes sense that we jump straight back into this beautiful title and experience the adventure again from the start. But this time a ton of new content has been added to the game. Some of that content includes a storyline to revitalize the town, the ability to get married and start a family. We have over 200 clothing and decoration options. We can adopt pets. There's a total now of 8 unique festivals, each filled with minigames. We can now access all of the diving depths to 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 meters. We can also access all of the mining areas, which is the earth, water, fire and wind. And there's so much more for us to explore. We can even get down into the Merfolk Kingdom and interact with the Merfolk NPCs. So with all that in mind, let's start our new farming life and see how well we can do in spring. So we have just created our character. We've met the mayor of Carl Island. His name is Connor, a lovely man indeed. And he's going to give us our first quest to interact with the local carpenters because we need to get our house upgraded to get our hands on some handy dandy features. For example, a television. So I'm going to cut down a couple of trees here. I'm going to break open some rocks and I'm going to make a patch so I can grow some crops that Connor was kind enough to give me for free. And these crops will come in super handy later on. I can either sell them or use them for energy. So I'm going to go to the local carpenter here. Her name is Dinda. I'm going to ask Dinda if she could please upgrade my house. The requirement is 50 wood and 20 pieces of stone. The great thing about the first house upgrade is that you can choose your style of house. And there's a lot of styles to choose from, which is really nice. So the style I'm going to go with here is style number 3. I find this style to be the most pleasant. That's just my personal opinion, of course. It doesn't matter what style you pick, the interior of the houses are all the same. I also came across a new function here called the errand board. An NPC I haven't met yet is looking for a carrot. So I'm going to run in to Sam's shop. He actually looks like Gus from Breaking Bad, but that's just my opinion. Let me know in the comments if you think Sam looks like Gus. In all fairness, I think he does. But you know what? For 500 gold, a backpack upgrade is needed. But for now, I can't afford it. I have to prioritise other things. So we're going to get some carrot seeds here. I'm going to plant those back on the farm. And that's going to get the ball rolling with that errand quest as well. Once we finish up, we get foraging level 1. And we don't make any money today because today was primarily just running around the town, meeting people and getting the farm set up. I gave Yori a daffodil in the hopes to foster a loving relationship. She wasn't impressed and told me I should have let it grow. In all fairness, daffodil had fully grown. So it only makes sense to pluck them out of the ground. Gift it to someone, right? For the rest of the day, I was just gathering basic resources. I picked up my first geode and that will be the first of many. Those can be cracked open at the local blacksmith. I also got a coffer, and you end up getting a lot of those when you play the diving minigame, and you can also bring those to the blacksmith as well. I managed to get my hands on a fishing pole and a net, and you can use these items to pull up fish and catch critters. There is an absolute huge amount of fish and critters to be caught in this game, and those critters and fish can be donated to the museum, and the more items we donate to the museum, the more we can increase the town rank and the more rewards that we get. So it's definitely worth our while to catch all of these items as quickly as possible. If we have already donated an item to the museum, we can just sell the items that we don't need. Some items have other uses as well. As you can see, I pulled up a huge variety of fish and I caught a huge variety of insects today. I'm just going to donate all of these items to the museum now. That's a total of 7 items donated to the museum. And as we can see there, I get a really nice reward, which was a candied tree seed. And those rewards do get much better the more we progress in the game. I got a snakehead later on, just outside of the bundles area, followed by a tilapia and a red snapper. And that is just a small handful of fish caught today. There's just a huge amount of fish to catch in this game. So I donated those items to the museum, and that's over 10 items now donated. Potato seeds as a reward. I can plant those seeds straight down into the farm. So the next day, as we can see, I got a few patches up with different crops in each patch. I'm going to go back to Sam now. It's time to get the first backpack upgrade because I really needed more storage space. I kept out of storage space on the previous day. I got a barracuda today. That was quite the difficult catch, but we got there in the end. The barracuda actually sells for decent money, but I'll donate the first one to the museum. Picked up a fly as well, followed by a boxfish. It then occurred to me that I can get married in this game. I can start a family in this game. I could have kids in this game. So I made a flower bouquet. And it's actually easy enough to make. You just have to run around, pick up a few flowers off the ground. There's flowers all over the place in Coral Island if you just run around the place, and they respawn most days. So I decided to try out Alice today, and she said it was pretty cool, thank you very much. That is a liked gift from Alice. She has loved gifts, but I just don't have the machines right now to make the gifts that she loves. But we will work on Alice, and we'll try to get her to maximum hearts, and we will try to marry her by the end of the year. The next day, Mark pays me a visit and he tells me about the cavern northwest of my farm. And he gives me some directions here in terms of how to get to it. In all fairness, I didn't need the directions. Coral Island isn't that big. We all know where the cavern is, of course. But because we're now on version 1.0, the cavern now has 4 areas we can fully explore. I'm also putting up some daisies and turnips today, thanks to lovely Mary Connor. And I am going to sell these to get some money. I might keep a few for energy. I'm also giving Alice more flower bouquets today because I really want to get the friendship points up with her so we can excel our lovely relationship. I then visit the cavern and I get a cool cutscene here. As we can see, there's 4 doors in total. 1 door is already open, and this is the Earth dungeon. And there's a good couple of levels in this dungeon we have to get through. Every time we get down 10 levels, we get a chest, and there's really nice prizes in those chests. Every time we get down 5 levels, we get a checkpoint. So it just means we can make steady progression every single day we come down here. As we can see, the first enemy type is a caterpillar enemy type. I'm not too bad at the combat, but I could be a lot better. I haven't played the game in a while. They've added a new feature to this game since the last time I played. It's the ability to use a special attack with your sword once a meter builds up. So you just right click on the mouse and you spin around there doing some additional damage, which is pretty cool. By the end of the day, I got level up in farming. I could make the makeshift scarecrow. I needed that badly to protect my crops from those nasty birds that want to eat all my crops. The next day, we're back down into the caverns. We're fighting slimes, and we're not collecting copper ore, believe it or not. We are actually collecting bronze ore. I was hoping when the version 1.0 came out, developers would fix that, because bronze is a processed material, you know. But look, we're just going to sum it up to Coral Island being very magical, and bronze just grows in the ground. So there you go. I got down to level 10 today. I picked up the Ring of Speed. And I never got a ring the last time I played this game. But in all fairness, the last time I played this game, it was the beta version. The Ring of Speed increases tool use speed. That's going to come in so handy when we're using our watering can and we're hoeing up the ground. I got a letter the next day from Kira. She wants me to enter a guild, which is right beside her house. And I never got to enter the guild before. The door was always there in the previous version, but now I get to go in and see what's inside. So I got super excited when I got this letter. I also had a chat with Connor today, and he explained that the town is currently a rank F. But by doing lots of big main quests in this game and by completing certain amounts of content, we can increase the rank of the town. And every time we increase the town rank, we unlock more content that we get to play with. We can even unlock more crops. We can unlock pets, we can unlock different types of farm animals. The list just goes on. So I'm going to make a furnace today. I need that to process my already processed bronze ores into bronze bars so I can upgrade some tools. Once the first furnace has been made, I need 5 ores and 1 coal to make a bar. And I need bars to get all of my tools upgraded. One man's trash is another man's treasure. I got a brown trout from a trash can. I was super happy with that. I can bring that to the museum, donate it. I also got a black phantom ghost fish today, followed by a firefish, more lovely museum items for me. But why stop there? It was time to do even more fishing. Picked up a sea cucumber. Never got that one before when I played this game, so that was very exciting to get. And after the sea cucumber, I then got a mandarin fish, a colourful fish that comes out at night. That was also a really cool fish. I know I said at the start they've added a lot of fish to this game, but I'm telling you right now, they have added an absolute ton of fish to this game. Capturing all the fish the game has to offer is going to be quite the challenge indeed. 27 items donated now in total to the museum. That was pretty nice. For the rest of the day, I'm just cutting down more trees because I need to get wood for all manner of upgrades that we can do on this farm. I had a weird dream later on. The sacred trees, they wanted me to visit them. I only had to visit one sacred tree to start one of the big main quests, so we'll do that later on in the day. The first thing we're going to do though is pull up these lovely carrots, and we're going to try to complete that errand. The potatoes are also ready, so we're going to pull them up as well. So because we got some skill ups here, we can actually choose what kind of perks we want. And the quality forge is pretty good, chance to forge better quality items, but the speed demon was the one we were going to get. Increase sprinting by 15%. That's a no-brainer right there. We finally tracked down our mystery errand giver. His name is Walter, and he took the card from us, no problem at all. We got to get some relationship points with Walter, and we're also going to get some money. Next up, I located one of the sacred trees. I interacted with it, and we get a cool cutscene here of this giant spawning. And this giant is basically going to tell us all about the goddess that we need to save. And if we do save the goddess, we're going to get lots of great perks and lots of rewards in the process. So, the goddess is basically the community version of Stardew Valley. It's basically lots and lots of bundles that we have to complete. And every time we complete bundles, more content gets unlocked in the game. And let me tell you right now, there is a lot of content locked behind those bundles. So I finally got some more relationship points with Alice from giving her more flower bouquets. That was pretty nice. All of our mining has paid off with access to some lovely mining perks. We're going to go with Rock Domino, chance to break surrounding rocks when we're mining up rocks down in the mines. And that is a huge energy saver right there. So it's time to roll on with the main quest. I went to the area here that this giant told me to go. And it's hilarious because he calls me human because he can't pronounce human. So I just thought that was a little bit funny. The goddess of flowers is the goddess of Coral Island. Once upon a time, she worked with the merfolk and giants to maintain the balance of the island. She's worshipped by both the giants and merfolk, and to this day, locals believe that the goddess is responsible for rejuvenating the island's water, soil, and well-being. So it's definitely in our best interest to try to complete as many bundles as possible and please the goddess. As we can see, we've got tons of bundles to do. We have essential resources, spring, summer, fall, winter sausage and bundles, and we also have other bits and bobs as well. The spring sausage and bundle is easy enough to do. We just need a carrot, a daisy, and a few other bits and bobs that we can get from the ground. So for the rest of the day, I'm cutting down more trees. I want to make more space on my farm. The more space I have, the more I can do. And then it's back to pulling up insects again, because I really want to get more items donated to the museum and increase the town rank. It's now time for our first big event of the whole year. This is the Potluck. This happens in spring every single year. And I get to donate an item to the Potluck. Now the better item I donate, the more relationship points I'm going to get from a lot of the Coral Island NPCs. A Bronze Star Crayfish won't get me the best response, but it will get me the second best response. I also done a sack race here, and you can do a few rounds of this. You can also redo this event as many times as you wish if you want to strive for a better score. I did it a few times, but the best score I could achieve was a second place. I just could not get first place in this event. My stamina wasn't high enough. A great perk to doing these events is that if you get a top rank, for example, I got second rank, it will automatically give me the rewards for the ranks below that as well. So you can end up coming out of these events with tons of rewards. There was also other stuff to do at the Potluck event. There was a store, and I could purchase some really cool items. I saw the Sakura farmer outfit, could not resist. I just thought the pink outfit looked absolutely awesome. So I paid the 2,500 gold and I purchased it. I then started the main event, and Judge Rosh here was very happy with it. She said the local products are great, complement each other, lovely stuff, and I get loads of friendship points with a lot of the NPCs from that, including Alice, which was really nice. It was then back to catching critters. I got some butterflies today, tiger swallowtail butterfly, that was pretty nice. We're then going back into the caverns. I want to make a lot more progress in the caverns. I'm still on the starter floors, floor 19 at the moment, and we're getting some monster essence and bronze ores. When I get down to floor 20, I will get another prize. I got a gold encrusted hammer. This is actually a big upgrade to the sword that I had. It can do pretty big damage. It is much slower than the sword, but it hits harder. I got down to floor 30, I picked up some spikes, just 10 floors to go, and we'll be finished with the Earth dungeon. We can then proceed into the next dungeon to get even better resources. I make another furnace today, and we're going to use that to smelt even more bars. I didn't have enough bronze ores to get a whole lot of bars out of it, but I do end up with tons of ores later on in the challenge. It's time to get some tool upgrades done, and as we can see, because of the full version of the game is here, we can get all of the best tools the game has to offer. Primarily, if I'm not in the caverns or fishing, I'm just running around with the net looking for new critters to capture. I also visited the goddess's bundles today, had a look at the essential resources, and I had everything on me to get that bundle completed. Because this is the first bundle we have completed, we're not only going to get a recycling machine as a reward, we're also going to get the Goddess's Blessing. And this gives us the ability to warp between waypoints that are scattered all through Card Island, and the more progress we make in the game, the more waypoints we will unlock. Once diving is unlocked, we can then start our dive anytime between 6 in the morning and 11 o'clock at night by interacting with the boated diving pair. While we're underwater, we need to clear trash and debris on the ocean floor with our scythe to obtain resources and collect solar orbs. Now, the solar orbs are super important because they're used to clean away all of the big dirty oil, and it will allow us to progress deeper into the diving minigame. And the deeper we get, the better resources we get. So we finally make it into the guild here now, and we speak to Kira. She says good job for defeating all those monsters, and we get the initiation badge, the SOS badge. This means we can enter the guild room anytime we want. And basically there's just a shop inside the guild that will sell us all manner of rings and weapons should we ever wish to switch up our combat style later on in the game. There's tons of items you can choose from. I visited the local blacksmith today, got him to break open loads of geodes and coppers that I have been accumulated over the past couple of days. I then went back to take a look at the spring sausage and bundle, and I managed to get all of the items that it needs to unlock the sugarcane seeds. And the sugarcane seeds are actually really handy because once they grow, we get to harvest them every single day thereafter. I also got more relationship points with Alice because I keep giving her flower bouquets every chance I get. Today, I made my first extractor. This is needed to make kelp essence, and there's different types of kelp essence we can make depending on the quality of kelp we put in. And we need kelp essence for a huge array of items, including fishing rod and bug net upgrades. I also got some capturing skill ups, so I'm going to go with not the double catch. I almost selected the double catch, but I decided to take the light feet, 10% less awareness. This means that tougher critters to catch will become slightly easier, and there's some critters out there that are nigh impossible to catch without the proper setup. So we're going back to the blacksmith today to break open a lot more coffers that we got from the diving minigame. We're also going to upgrade our scythe, because the more we upgrade the scythe, the faster progress we can make with the diving minigame. And we do a lot of diving in the first 100 days of the video because there's a ton of diving to get through. There's tons of trash to get through before we can actually finish off that huge big quest. So I finally got to the end of the Earth dungeon today, and I managed to free the first giant, which was pretty cool. So there's 4 giants to go now, and we can now enter a new area inside the mines. So the first giant that we freed here, his name is Grog, and he is also going to give us a very potent ability in the next few minutes, and that is the ability to enchant our items, which is really cool. So we're now in the water dungeon. Now get some silver ores to make silver bars, which is pretty cool. We need silver to upgrade tools. The next day, Grog here does some sort of a magical dance, and he removes all of the big trees and the vines from this area, so we can now access the giant village, which is really cool. And inside the giant village, you see like a little way shrine there in the center. We can use that to enchant our gear. But we need earth gems to enchant our gear, and I'm not too sure on how to get more earth gems. Grog gives me 3 earth gems to play around with, but I never actually tried to get any more than 3. So if you know how to get more earth gems, please let me know in the comments. I'd really appreciate it. The first enchant was Swift Swing, 20% faster on the tool. I enchanted it again to see what I'd get. Extra drop popped up. I was going to select extra drop, but I said, you know what? I'll keep the Swift Swing because it means I can progress faster in the mines if my character has faster actions. It was then back to the caverns, but I wanted to do some fishing to see if I could find any unique fish in the caverns that I couldn't find outside. I managed to get a koi, and I got the flower horn as well, donated those. Up on 46 items now at the moment, so I'm doing really well with the museum. I also made it down to floor 10 in the water dungeon and picked up 8 candied tree seeds. These are so handy for energy. Energy is something I run out of all of the time, especially when I'm in the caverns. Sent back to grinding up silver ores, trying to get down as quickly as possible. Found an NPC here called Jim. I asked him, why was he throwing rocks at fish? He said, are you really that tick? These fish are fine. Honestly, I didn't believe him. He said, this is something we used to do. There's a little contest at the end of our outings. She told me once she appreciated how I didn't hold back. It was refreshing for her. So what Jim is trying to say is that he had a friend or a partner, some weird relationship where his partner got off every time he threw rocks at fish to hurt them. So Jim, in my opinion, as of this moment in time, is a bit of a monster. He's a bit of a fish bully. Who throws rocks at fish and gets enjoyment out of it? Jim's partner does. So we gotta watch out for Jim, everybody. We gotta make sure he doesn't throw rocks at any more fish. And while we're on the topic of protecting fish, fish have very short memories. It's okay to pull them up and donate them to the museum. It's even okay to pull them up and sell them, because I'm sure when you sell them on, people keep the fish as pets. So they're going to be happy nonetheless. Next up, we're going to upgrade our site to the silver site. I'm prioritizing the site at the moment because I want to make faster progress with the diving minigame. I want to get through the trash faster. It's then time to pull up more critters. I got very lucky today. I managed to pull up a centipede. These can be quite difficult because the aggro bar on them is very, very quick. And if you don't approach it very fast, it will just scutter away. I managed to get a sprinkler as a reward today, and the more sprinklers I can accumulate, the more farming I can do. Because I donated over 50 items, I got a cool cutscene here from Scott saying he can get the Kickstarter campaign started. That's really good for the town. I also got a letter from my grandma with 500 gold inside. Thanks so much, Grandma. I love you too. It's time to harvest some sugar canes. And we're back down into the caverns. We're at the floor 20 here now in the water dungeon. We picked up a new ring, and this one is the Amber Shield ring, which is pretty cool. If we go into the description, it has a small chance to completely nullify damage. That's actually a very nice ring indeed. It's then back to grinding up more ores, looking to make some progress. Before the day was out, we got floor 30. We picked up some explosive level 2s. They're very nice indeed. Level 3 mining rewards us with a stone chest. That is much better than the regular makeshift chest. I got my silver sight back today, straight back down doing the diving. And at the moment we are just one-shotting all the trash. I also picked up a sea slug today, really cool diving loot. That can be donated to the museum. We also got some solar orbs as well to clear away more of that nasty oil that the pufferfish company are spreading all through Coral Island. The next day I got my very first maple syrup. Now, I ended up selling that, but I'm sure that could be used in a huge array of different things. It was time for another big event today. This was a tree planting event. But before I could plant all the trees, I had to clear up all of the debris all over the area. So Connor says that illegal logging did serious damage here on this patch of land. Now, as my knowledge goes so far, I actually can't make it back to this patch of land just yet. That might change in the future. So the shop at this event had lots of candied tree seeds. I purchased all of them because they give great energy. With the rest of my money, I also wanted to get some really good fertilizer so that the quality of my crops would dramatically improve. And getting good quality fertilizer level 2 would see to that just fine. So I spent all my money on fertilizer level 2. Then it was time to clear all of the trash up, get rid of all the wood, and start planting some tree seeds. And once all of the tree seeds were planted, I got some really nice merit points, and I also got a lot of relationship points with all of the NPCs as well, including a banana sapling, which we get to plant on our farm, and we get to harvest some bananas. More relationship points with Alice. Things were looking real good for us. So I had to water that banana tree every single day. Then it was back diving. I got a pom-pom crab, which was pretty cool, and we're now getting a little bit lower with diving. That means better resources for us. I freed Grantle here. He's a giant turtle. Gave me a scuba snack to say thanks. I also picked up a cannonball jellyfish. The next day I went back diving again and I picked up an arrow crab. So all of these underwater sea critters are going to be donated to the museum. More rewards for me, of course. I freed another big ocean creature here. Had a chat with Gertle. She gave me a silver kelp. Thank you very much. Then I spotted another sea creature that I've never seen before. This one was an upside down jellyfish. So there was lots to explore down here. It wasn't just all trash. Of course, once we have all the trash cleared and we go back to visit these areas, there'd be a lot more critters roaming around the place. We finally got our first town rank upgrade. We went from F to E, and look at all the things we unlocked. Pet adoption, new clothes, new fruit plants, more R&D tears at the lab. We also unlocked ducks, and that reminded me there and then, I could get animals on my farm. So that is something I do look into, and that is something you will see before the 100 days are over. You will see lots of animals on our farm. So we got to Mantle today, and we got a reward for freeing him. We also met the mermaids. Aegon was the first mermaid, followed by Denali, and they were very impressed with me that all the oil is being cleared up. I also spoke with Ling and told her that I saw some mermaids, and she said that she hasn't seen them in so long. So I wondered there and then, is there a relationship between Ling and the merfolk? But we'll get back to that later on in the video, probably the next video I'd say. The process of giving Alice gifts is going really strong. Even though they're light gifts, we're making steady progress with her, and I'm hoping to get married before the first year is out, and I'd love to have kids as well before the first year is out. So we got some really cool perks here for diving, and I'm going to go with rare trash. A 2% chance that something rare will drop from trash, and 2% may seem very low, but there is thousands upon thousands of trash on the diving floor. It's a lot more common than you think. So it's time to break open more coffers and donate more items to the museum, and look at all the items we get to donate today because of the sheer amount of coffers that we picked up from the diving minigame. We're now up on 70 items in total. We look at that, a dragon fruit seedling. We get to grow it on the farm, and we get to harvest dragon fruit within the next couple of weeks. So I got a whelk today that can be donated to the museum, and for the rest of the day I actually spend it just processing some goods into scrap and into compost. The next day I spoke with Ling, and she upgraded my diving suit to a diving suit 2.0, and she's added a speaker and mic in my mouthpiece, an earpiece and a little processor. And here's the great part, it means that I can talk to the merfolk. I can start relationships with the merfolk when I eventually get to the merfolk kingdom, and they are really exciting times indeed, let me tell you. The rest of the day was just spent diving, clearing up trash, got more relationship points with Alice. You know, I got really excited today. I thought I could harvest this dragon fruit, but it wasn't fully ripe yet. So that's just footage of me thinking I could harvest the fruit, but I couldn't. With all of the resources I had accumulated, I decided to make lots of sprinkler level 1s. It just means I could buy a lot more crops, and I wouldn't have to spend hours upon hours watering those crops every day. I also got a bee house, and I made some tiles here that I could put down on my farm to get it more organised. Back down into the caverns, and I was farming for bronze ores. I needed tons of bronze ores and silver ores. I needed every ore, to be honest with you, to make tons of processing machines. Picked up the red admiral, the hickory horned devil, and I also got the lovely recluse striped garden caterpillar today as well. All of these lovely critters will be donated into the museum for even more town ranking points. It was then back down into the water dungeon. We got very lucky today. Using explosives, we managed to make it to floor 40. We picked up 6 Jamus, and we get to free yet another giant. We now get to access the next layer of this cavern area, and that means we can farm gold ores and make gold bars. The gold bars actually sell for decent money, but they're not the best selling bars, not by a long shot. Bars we get in the 4th layer sell for superior amounts of money. I cannot wait to get to that level. The money is just going to start pouring in, literally. Gong is the name of the 2nd giant, and before we finish up with spring, I quickly run into the 3rd layer just to get some quick gold ores, because we need that to upgrade tools as well. So thanks so much everyone for watching me play through spring on Coral Island. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you very soon.